This program will provide an overview of Medicare and is divided into 6 sections. You can find this information in greater detail in your Medicare and You Handbook, which is mailed to people with Medicare and can be found on the Medicare.gov website. For easier understanding, you are encouraged to view the parts of this series in order. Welcome to Part 3 of this educational series. In this section, you'll learn about your Medicare coverage choices, Original Medicare, and Medicare Supplement or Medigap insurance. There are 2 ways to get your Medicare coverage: Original Medicare or Medicare Advantage plans. You can choose which way you want to get your coverage. Option 1 is Original Medicare, which includes Parts A and B. We talked about some gaps in Original Medicare, like the deductibles and coinsurance, and you can add additional coverage to help cover those gaps. You can buy a Medicare Supplement or Medigap policy to help cover the gaps in Original Medicare. You can also choose to buy Medicare prescription drug coverage or Part D from a Medicare prescription drug plan. Option 2 are the Medicare Advantage plans, also known as Part C. They are an alternative way to get your Medicare benefits. They are offered through private insurance companies that are approved by Medicare. There are different types of Advantage plans, like health maintenance organizations, HMOs, or preferred provider organizations, PPOs, and they cover Part A and B services and supplies. Most Medicare Advantage plans include Medicare prescription drug coverage. Let's start by looking at the option on the left side of this chart, Original Medicare, and then we'll see how supplement policies, also known as Medigap plans, work with it. Again, Original Medicare includes Part A, hospital insurance, and/or Part B, medical insurance. With Original Medicare, you can go to any doctor or other healthcare provider, hospital, or facility that's enrolled in Medicare and is accepting new Medicare patients. Costs are affected by whether or not they accept assignment, which is an agreement by your doctor, provider, or supplier to be paid directly by Medicare, to accept the payment amount Medicare approves for the service, and not to bill you for any more than the Medicare deductible and coinsurance. With Original Medicare Parts A and B, you can choose to buy a supplement, also known as a Medigap policy, to help cover some costs not covered by Original Medicare. You must have both Parts A and B to enroll in a supplement policy. You can also choose to buy a Medicare prescription drug coverage, Part D, from a Medicare prescription drug plan. To buy a Part D plan, you can have Part A only, or Part B only, or both. Original Medicare does not cover most dental care or dentures, cosmetic surgery, health care while traveling outside the U.S., hearing aids and/or exams for fitting hearing aids, long-term care, most routine foot care and most supportive devices for feet, routine eye care and most eyeglasses, or routine physicals. If you need these services, you will have to pay for them yourself, unless you have other coverage, including Medicaid, to cover the costs. You are in a Medicare Advantage plan, Part C, that covers these services. Note, as of 2021, Part B provides coverage of acupuncture for chronic low back pain. A Medicare Supplement Insurance Policy, or Medigap, is private insurance approved and regulated by the Idaho Department of Insurance and helps fill in the gaps of Original Medicare, like copayments, coinsurance, and deductibles. You must have Part A and Part B to buy a Medigap policy. You pay a monthly premium for a Medigap policy, and the costs depend on the plan and the insurance company. Medicare Supplement Medigap policies come in 11 different standardized plans. Each is identified by a letter, A through N. Because they are standardized, the benefits provided in any plan with the same letter will be the same no matter what company sells you the plan. However, the cost for that plan, the premium, will vary between companies. Once Medicare pays its share of the Medicare-approved amounts for covered healthcare costs, then your Medigap policy pays its share. A Medigap policy does not include prescription drug coverage. Medigap policies cover only one person. If you and your spouse both want Medigap coverage, you'll need to have separate Medigap policies. You still pay the monthly Part B premium. As of January 1, 2020, Medigap plans sold to people who are new to Medicare aren't allowed to cover the Part B deductible. Because of this, Plan C and F aren't available to people who are newly eligible for Medicare on or after January 1, 2020. If you already had either of these two plans, or the high deductible version of Plan F, or are covered by one of these plans before January 1st, 2020, you're able to keep your plan. If you were eligible for Medicare before January 1, 2020, but not yet enrolled, you may be able to buy one of these plans. Plans C and F are no longer available to people who are newly eligible for Medicare on or after January 1st, 2020. Plans F and G also offer high deductible plans. With this option, you must pay for Medicare-covered costs, coinsurance and copayments, and deductibles up to the deductible amount, $2,800 in 2024, before your Medigap plan pays anything. Once the plan deductible is met, the plan then pays 100% of the covered services for the rest of the calendar year. High deductible Plan G does not cover the Medicare Part B deductible. However, high deductible plans F and G count the payment of the Medicare Part B deductible toward meeting the plan deductible. Plans K and L pay 100% of covered services for the rest of the calendar year once you meet the out-of-pocket yearly limit and your yearly Part B deductible, $240 in 2024. Plan N pays 100% of the Part B coinsurance, except for a copayment of up to $20 for some office visits and up to $50 copayment for emergency room visits that do not result in an inpatient admission. For more details, please visit the Idaho Department of Insurance's webpage, Medicare Supplement/Medigap. Here are the steps to take if you are interested in buying a Medigap policy. Step 1. Decide which benefits you want, and then decide which of the Medigap policies meet your needs. Step 2. Find out which insurance companies sell Medigap policies in your state. Step 3. Call the insurance companies that sell the Medigap policies you're interested in and compare costs. Step 4. Buy the Medigap policy of your choice. The best time to buy a Medigap policy is during your Medigap open enrollment period. This period lasts for 6 months and begins on the first day of the month that you're enrolled in Medicare Part B. If you apply during your Medigap OEP, it is considered your guaranteed issue period, and you can buy any Medigap policy the company sells, even if you have health problems, for the same price as people with good health. If you don't purchase a plan within your 6-month OEP, insurance companies can deny coverage based on your health condition. Remember the rules about delaying enrollment into Part B? If you delay enrolling in Part B because you or your spouse are still working and you have group health and coverage based on that employment, your Medigap OEP is also delayed until you enroll in Part B. Once your coverage ends or your employment ends and you enroll in Part B, your Medigap OEP begins. For those who may have Medicare due to a disability, you will get a second OEP when you turn 65. These are the other times that you can receive a guaranteed issue and not be denied a Medigap policy. If your Medicare Advantage plan terminates or stops providing service in your area, if you move outside the plan's service area, if your employer group health plan ends some or all of your coverage, but if the employee voluntarily leaves the plan or ends her coverage on her own, you will not have guarantee issue. If you are in a trial period of a Medicare Advantage plan, this is a 12-month period that begins the first time you join a Medicare Advantage plan. You only get one trial period during your lifetime. During this time, you can change from a Medicare Advantage plan to a Medigap plan guaranteed. Remember, for guarantee issue of a Medigap policy, you must apply within 63 days of your other coverage ending. There is one other time that you can receive guaranteed issue for a Medigap policy in Idaho. This is called the birthday rule. If you are currently enrolled in a Medigap policy, on your birthday, you may change to a same or lesser than plan within 63 days of your birthday. This is an Idaho-specific guaranteed issue right. If you have questions or would like more information about Medigap policies, you can contact the Idaho Sheba Helpline at 1-800-247-4422. You can also find additional information online at sheba.idaho.gov. You may also call Medicare at 1-800-633-4227 or visit the Medicare website at www.medicare.gov. Thank you. Please check out our next video on Medicare Advantage and other types of coverage.